I think this is an unbelievable opportunity. Get to play for a great city, an amazing organization with a great tradition and a huge fan base that wants to see a win, and that's what we're here for. Is you play at this level to try to win and get to the ultimate goal. It's what you all work for your whole life and dream about.
Will the Toronto Maple Leafs win the Stanley Cup this year? Or Terry Koshan, will they even get out of the first round? I don't remember another year where the expectations had ramped up so much, especially after back-to-back first round exits. How are you viewing this year, and is it any different than, I guess, a year ago?
Well, sure it is. Mike, you've added a player in Tyson Barrie on the blue line who should really help. Mike Babcock, I think, made an interesting comment after the last preseason game Saturday when he said, yes, we have the depth and everything, but our really good players are that much better now. And I think we're going to see great seasons out of Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander. Of course, don't sleep on him. He's had a great preseason, and we all know what happened last year when he missed camp and didn't start playing until December. Tavares, I don't leave anybody out. Morgan Riley coming off a Norris Trophy type season. So the expectations are there, and they're just. I mean, this is the team that has the highest paid coach, Mike, 3 of the highest paid players in the game, and no matter how good the Tampa Bay Lightning is, how good the Boston Bruins are, improvements in teams in the Eastern Conference, the Leafs should be going into the season as a Stanley Cup contender, and they should be one when the regular season ends.
Yeah, you mentioned the highest paid players, and you know what, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, they're not on entry-level contracts. They are now getting more money than a lot of players in the NHL are. Do you think there's more pressure on those two guys to really carry the load, not just in the playoffs, but in the regular season as well, especially when you consider that the third and the fourth lines don't have the depth that maybe they did a year ago when you had a Nazem Kadri and you had a Patrick Marleau?
Well, I think the depth is there, Mike, throughout, but the pressure's on them. I don't think it's going to make a difference. I still expect Matthews, even with this disorderly conduct charge hanging over his head, and Marner to go out and produce. I think they're both capable of 100 points. Of course, Matthews has to stay healthy. We've seen that be a problem for him in previous years, but you know what? Part of the reason why they're here and they're making the money that they are, the talent that they have, is that they're able to handle these expectations, and I don't see pressure being an issue for either of the two youngsters.
And we can't talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs and playoff expectations without talking about the rest of the Atlantic Division. And just, Tampa Bay's not going anywhere. They're still just as dangerous as they were a year ago. Boston Bruins go to the final. They really haven't lost anyone. And now you add the Florida Panthers. Is it a foregone conclusion that Toronto's going to finish either 1, 2, or 3 in that division? Or if this team finishes with a wild card spot, is that considered a disappointment by any stretch?
Well, if you base what you think about, the season as a whole and the regular season, it would be, but just get into the playoffs and see what happens. But I don't think this team is a wild card team by any stretch, Mike. It's a top 3 team in that division. I agree with you. The Bruins are the same. Tampa's would be hungry for something after what happened last year. Florida's a better team. There's no reason though why the Leafs shouldn't be in the top 3 in the Atlantic.
Regular season is almost kind of, it's going to be an inevitable conclusion. Where this season really starts is the playoffs and what the Leafs are going to do until then. Follow Post Media News for all the news. Terry Koshan, I'm Michael Tracos.